Still to come on tonight's programme, all the day's sports news, including the latest on the billionaire poised to become Birmingham City's majority shareholder. More on that later on.
Meanwhile, the other big story of the day, the flooding, and a man who died after his car was swept off a road and into a river has today been identified. Eric Dickinson was a county court judge in Worcester.
He was on his way home when his car was washed away. He made a panic call to his wife from his mobile phone just minutes before he died. Chris James reports.
At 68, Eric Dickinson was a well-known and enormously respected district judge in the Midlands. He only had 4 years to go until he retired after spending 23 years in the county courts. On Monday night, in the middle of a storm, he chose to cross this ford between Pershore and Drake's Broughton, a decision that cost him his life. 48 hours later, and the water here has receded somewhat. At the time, it's thought the levels were around 5 feet. But when Mr. Dickinson reached this point in the ford, he was already trapped. His vehicle consumed by the rising floodwaters. The force of the river dragged his family-sized car, with him inside it, down the river by 50 yards within minutes. He had no chance of escape. With the doors of his car pinned shut by the pressure of the water, he made a frantic phone call to his wife, telling her he was being washed away in his car. But before he could tell her his location, the phone cut off. West Mercia police launched a massive search for the man in fords and rivers in the area, but it wasn't until 24 hours later he was discovered here in his car, a metre below the surface. He lived not far away in the nearby village of Bransford in South Worcestershire, and today a neighbour spoke of her shock.
Very pleasant man, family man. When we did see him, he was very sort of obliging, very thoughtful, yes.
So he was a nice man?
He was a lovely man.
His two sons paid tribute to their father today, saying he was a popular man and anyone who came in contact with him will remember him. Mr. Dickinson also leaves a wife, Jill, a daughter and 6 grandchildren. Chris James in Pershore for Central Tonight.
Well, for those people who've seen their homes devastated in the flood,